Good evening, and welcome, guys. It is Thursday night. We are back on ACC on PC. We are 10 minutes into the qualifying. We do have Tyler Humphries, who's currently out on track. We just waited for my power to come on, but it has come on in due time. The stream is up, so at least we get to see what's happening this evening in the qualifying. And thank you to all those who have tuned in. We do have these standings, which I'll just have to get for you a little bit later on, just as we're waiting for the stream and everything to settle. But so far so good. If you are there, guys, give us a shout out. Tell us who you're going to be watching here this evening. It is quite close in terms of the points, as we see Tyler Humphries going off. His last lap was a 127.8. I have realized that I need to try and get that screen up where I have the car. I should be able to find it on my race control, because yes, it is now officially working. So we have got Memo Veronis, who's now joined us. So he's on track. Currently driving for Chasing Beavers, so he'll be doing his outlap and then heading that flyer. And the bit about the track here this evening is it is slightly overcast. There is no rain expected. And the track temperature 32 degrees and the air temp around 28, and it should stay a little bit around about the same as we finish off here, but later on we will go into a later time, and that is the race at night. So track temperatures will definitely drop there. The format here this evening is 2 races of 25 minutes, and I'm seeing on the map that there are 2 cars, but I'm not seeing that other car. We are watching Memo. But not a problem. Just want to see if we can see the car heading up the hill. But a big change here for us at SARCO here this evening, and that is because the servers are now currently running in South Africa. We've got our friends at nag.co.za who have supplied us some servers based in Johannesburg, and those are powered by, I don't want to get that wrong, by Nutanix. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much for getting those servers up. And there you can see there's on the track map there are 2 dots there. We're not seeing who that other dot is on track, so it is pretty strange at this point. So I'm hearing 2 cars, but I'm not seeing the 2 cars. So Memo will cross the line. That's a 1:31.50 there for him. Just want to see if I can change the timing. So that flickering that we're seeing, that is when we're watching Johan VDV, so I hope that that's not a sign of things to come, as Michael Strubeck runs very, very wide there. Nothing but apex, and that's him losing it and cutting across one of the other drivers. I think that was Sean. So unfortunately Michael Strubeck has now lost that that qualifier. And it does look like that was Sean. I wonder whether he is on a flyer himself, because that's definitely going to cost him, having lost that time. So last lap 20.50, so that was his outlap. Very fortunate there for him. So I'm trying to get those lap times up there for you. So we can see the current top of the standings there, and that is Tyler Humphries 127.8. Paul Fenter in second place, but not claiming any of the fastest sectors there, and that is claimed by Neil Bullion. Second sector there for him, and Ron Heineke, he's got that first sector. So interesting to see those sectors split across all the drivers. So Sean approaches that line, and that puts him fifth. So a little wiggle of appreciation there for him. So just 4.5 minutes left, and it looks like everybody has put in a lap time. Let's just take a look as we head down. So it looks like Robert Stoltz, he went out on his first lap, and he must have got that wrong. Adrian Bond failing to get a lap time up, as well as Michael. We saw him coming off in a dramatic style there, and just avoiding Sean Lorero, who's currently in 5th place. So those comments are now coming through. Stain, you've got first dibs here this evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Ninjas for the win. So Stain, unfortunately, no no ninjas here this evening, but we'll definitely work on that. And yes, it is that jerking that we're seeing, that is car specific. We saw it on Johan VDV's car, but as we jump to some of the other guys, it does look fine. Checking the bit rate that's coming through, and it is round about that 5.5 to 6.5 frames kilobytes per second. So that's exactly where we want it to be. So it should be nice and clear. We see Etienne has just joined us. He's in the Bulldog Academy car, and if he is smart about this, he should be able to get himself a lap. There's Etienne there. Sounds like that ignition is on, so we will be able to see Etienne getting that lap time in. Etienne just on his out lap before he gets into his actual qualifying. Etienne running very wide there, luckily just on his out lap. So Robert, Adrian and Michael down 11th, 12th and 13th place, not being able to get in that track time. But here we go, so perhaps let's jump on board. That's not the one I wanted. Understeer moment there for Etienne as now we head back up the hill. Would have been a little bit wider there on his entry, which would have given him a much better drive on the way out. Hello Cairns, yes indeed, it is Tyler Humphries who is fastest the game in the qualifying. And you've joined with 1.5 minutes to go. We are currently with Etienne on the bonnet in the LT Racing Bulldog Academy car. Second last corner, a little bit too deep there for Etienne, just not able to get that car slowed down in time. Missing that braking point there that Etienne once again, but now he'll cross the line and Etienne gets himself 10th place there. So here we go, getting back into the race. It is a manual formation lap. Goodness, this is not what I had expected.
Seconds. 20 seconds.
So there's Tyler in his pink 777. Paul Fento takes up the second spot in the front row, followed by Neil and Fliffensell second row. Third row is Sean Lorero and Ruan. Then fourth row, Wayne Bond and Thomas Pretorius. Fifth row is Memo and Johan VDB. Sixth row is Robert Stoltz and Adrian Bond, with Michael Strubik and Etienne taking up row 7. Can hear Neil using those brakes, getting heat into the tires, driving with his foot on the brakes, and he is right up behind both Paul and Tyler. See, Duncan has joined us. How's it, Duncan? So with us having changed over to a new server supplier, I'm just wondering, because now what's happened is the server has not been set to the short run-up, which I hope is just not going to create some confusion. And that's because for the next race, the top 6 will do a reverse grid. So,
green light, show them what you got.
So there we go, realized that they are still going to do the formation lap, so the guys did see that not everybody was having a go. So apologies to everyone, we will get that sorted for the next one. Seeing those comments coming in, thank you very much guys, really do appreciate the support. The drivers do come and they watch the racing back later on. So there we got it, the first like this evening, and it's actually come from Gerard Foslu. I don't know how we missed that, but lekker Gerard, thank you very much. And Mumtaz Ali Husani, thank you very much. Both Gerard and Mumtaz approving of this. Remember, this league, guys, is proudly supported by Schick as the product sponsor here this evening, as well as MSR from a components point of view. Lots of interesting things going to be happening in the next couple of weeks, so watch the space. And then, as mentioned before, the SARCO servers are proudly supported by NAG, who are proudly powered by Nutanix. So thank you very much guys, really awesome to see all the support that we're getting. Duncan shared the love. Yes man, Duncan. Well, here we go guys, so now it's finally 2 laps of formation laps, and Tyler's dropped the nail, and off he goes into turn number 1, and it's single file now as we follow Neil in that number 13, my lucky number. Most definitely, you can most definitely not be superstitious when you're born on a Friday the 13th. But so far it is Tyler out in front with Paul Fencer, then Neil, Cliff Fonsell, Sean Lorero and Ruan in 6th place. There he is coming in the Honda. Slight gap between himself and Wayne Bond in 7th place. Coming through the first hairpin. Now heading back up the hill. Hard on the brakes now. Through the last corner. But so far the first, I'd say, is 7 drivers now starting to pull a little gap. But Sean Herrera now starting to close up onto the back of his fellow teammate Flip van Zyl. Just 0.1 quicker that lap around. Sean going a little bit wide on the exit there. But another driver that is putting some pressure on the driver ahead, and that is Michael Strubek, who is 0.3 away from the BMW of Adrian Bond. Very, very close there. But while Adrian has got his own little battle, it's his brother out in front, a little bit further up the order in 7th place, starting to close up on the back of Ruan. Half a second is the gap there between those two. Ruan taking a lot of that inside curb going through that chicane. Down into turn number 11, and Wayne has got a really great drive on the way out as they now head into turn number 11, and they will rejoin back on the start-finish line. More battles between the two Schick drivers, and there's the battle that we were watching just moments ago between 6th and 7th. So Tyler Humphries currently putting down the fastest lap here this evening. Jump back to Wayne putting lots and lots of pressure here on Ruan. So far Ruan able to handle this pressure. Point 2 of the second is that gap currently between these two drivers. And Tyler starting to open up a gap between himself and Paul Fenter. Over a second now. Tyler currently the fastest man on track with a 127.5 is that lap. But him now doing a 127.7, so slightly slower this time round. And newcomer to the series, well, not to the community, but definitely to the series, is Agamemnon Veronis starting to close up on the back of Thomas within a second now. But it does look like as he got himself right up there, Thomas is now starting to just open up the gap slightly. He's giving himself some breathing space. Of loss of grip there for Memo, but it is closing up that gap once again. But where the battle is still hot and happening is here for the 7th and 6th places. Wayne right on the tail there, and a little bump, a little tag. So that's going to cost him, and that has come up onto our little race log. But Wayne just allowing him to carry on. But then another battle happening is the two Schick cars. And that is Sean going to have a look to the inside and just allowing his fellow teammate and team captain Flip van Zyl to go past. But now they're going to be side by side. Heading down the hill and just about going around the outside. So Sean is still not able to get ahead of his teammate Flip van Zyl. But I think the Flip saw him coming and just said, no ways, you're not going to be going through right now. Whoa! just off the curb, and we saw that little jump there. So once again, so Sean having to now do that work once again to close up onto the back after that little mistake. But Wayne still trying to find his way around Ruan, 0.4 of a second there. I think Etienne might have had a spin, because all of a sudden I saw on my positions there that Etienne was dropping down where Michael Strubeck moved up a bit, and now Michael's got ahead of Memo. So while Memo was battling with Thomas, he has a drop down the order slightly. So Duncan giving us some commentator's curse of his own there, saying some really good clean racing, and as he says that Wayne just drives into the back. Not intended, but the pink 777 out in front, still closely followed by Paul Fenter, and Neil is still in the picture there. So Tyler with Lunatic Racing, a 777, using a lot of that curb for that last corner. With these three really starting to open up a gap, the gap between Neil and Flip van Zyl, who's currently in fourth place, is 4.3 seconds now. Jump on board with the McLaren as he heads down into the old hairpin, now through turn number 5 along Starkey's Bridge into turn number 6. Now up towards Copper's turn number 8. You can see this line turning, the car just wanting to rotate here. It is a straight shot now to the S's. Before the last board turning in, carrying lots of speed through there. Just about 155 kilometers an hour on the brakes now into the Melbourne hairpin. It does look like Neil's closed up just a little bit onto the back of Paul Fenter. But so far Tyler really in control of this race. Another battle happening here, and this is between the Bonds. Is Adrian Bond now closing up onto the back of Thomas. Looks like Thomas getting a little bit of a kick of the rear there, which has now affected his exit. Wayne now, Adrian on the outside for Orion Shopfitters. Just not able to get that drive. But now moving to the inside as they head down the hill once again. Now through Craner curves. Just see the speed that the guys are carrying down the corner there. And I saw in the background there's Michael Strubeck starting to gain some momentum here on the guys ahead of him. So Ken saying that Ruan can handle the pressure. Well, we do hope that he can. There's a change here of full position, and that is now Sean Lerero having a move to the inside towards turn number 11. So Flip van Zyl now unfortunately dropping down into 5th place. But it does look like Sean was going quicker than Flip. You can see Flip just dropping back ever so slightly. But having a look at the standings, it is currently Flip van Zyl who is in 5th place, who is top of the standings, and is leading Sean by 22 points. Paul Venter currently in 2nd place. He's in 3rd overall, with 14 behind. So getting some points here is really going to close up this championship. Wayne Bond is 14 points behind Paul Venter on 89, and then Adrian further down the field, 86. He's in 6th, but it is Tyler who's 1 point behind Adrian, who's currently leading this race. Will get maximum points here. So far so good for this heat number 1. But it is Wayne now looking for this opportunity to get ahead of Ruan. And it does look like Ruan is a lot more stable through those S's. Wayne was just a little bit unsettled when he hit that 2nd curb. So just upset the rear slightly, and he wasn't able to carry that speed through like Ruan had. We'll just see what's happening in terms of the lap times as Wayne goes a little bit wide there through turn number 11. So lap times between Wayne and Ruan. Ruan at 129.32. Wayne 129.35. So 0.02 of a second is the difference in the lap times there. Adrian Bond just put in his quickest lap. With him now in 8th place, just behind Wayne. There's our ever 13 seconds between them. And it does look like Paul has been able to give himself a little bit of a breather between himself and Neil. Oh, that Porsche looking a little bit sideways through the first phase of those S's. So Cans, what has happened is I've got my race control up, so I'm able to control the cameras more efficiently. But with me now having done that, is I've somehow turned off some of the things, and I don't want to be messing around with it too much, but I'll definitely see if I can't get it sorted for the next race when we have some times in between. So tyres, fastest lap was a 127.53. But Paul Venter is also at a 127.59 for him. And the next quickest is Neil with a 127.8. So the 127 club is doing very well there. I see Russell has joined us here. Talking to Auntie Cans. I think that's what we'll start calling her from now on. So Gerald Humphrey is saying, go Tyler, hashtag and number 1. And there he is there, the lunatic racing driver, starting to pull away from himself and Paul and Neil behind. Kick off the rear, you saw that Paul just further coming out of the last corner, and now what that's done is it's given Neil the opportunity to get right on his tail. So now Neil can start applying some pressure onto the back of that Honda. 6 minutes left to go. And I'm still watching this battle between Ruan and Wayne. And that's a battle for 6th and 7th. And I'll tell you why it is it's so important to finish in 6th place, because that driver will get the pole position for the second heat. So Neil just dropping back a little bit, so not quite able to keep that pressure on. But here it is. This is the battle for pole position for the next race. And I'm sure Wayne is being very, very patient, but is that the mistake that he's been waiting for? Ruan ran himself a little bit too wide through the chicane, and Wayne was right there to take advantage of that. So Wayne now up into his 6th place. Ruan has now everything to fight for in that 69 car. 5 minutes left to go. So now it's we'll need to see whether Wayne has got the BMT, but now running a little bit wide out of the last corner. That would have affected his drive on the way out. And just looking at the 2 lap times there, 1:29.5 for Ruan and a 1:28.7 for Wayne, and that's the difference right there. Four and a half minutes left to go, and so far Tyler in control here. Neil is still within a fighting chance against himself and Paul Fenter. It does look like that Porsche is just not stable through the S's there. There comes Sean Herrera just over the crest, currently in 4th place. And it looks like Memo's got himself ahead of ahead of Thomas. So Memo now up into 9th place. Thomas now falling down. Michael Strubeck has now got himself in this party. Will there be a move to the inside here? Turn number 10. No, there isn't. But there's definitely a 3-way battle here with just over 3 minutes left to go. But it is Neil now, check that, 0.4 of a second behind Paul Fenter. Taking a lot of curb, just unsettling the car, going to lose a bit of drive back up the hill. And just remember guys, the top 6 will be doing a reverse grid for the next race. And we have seen the mayhem just in terms of what it does to the end results of what this reverse grid does do to the racing. So even though the racing stays nice and clean, it definitely makes it difficult as Michael goes side by side and he's able to go too wide up through the hill there. Absolutely incredible move there, just putting it on the inside through McLean's and managing to get himself up the order. Now into 10th place goes Michael. It's gonna jump back to Neil, and it does look like Sean Herrera, 2.8 seconds is the gap there between him and the 3rd place Neil. So I don't think there'll be enough time for him to close up, but he's definitely showing now that he has got that pace. 127.7 there for Sean, so definitely does have what it takes to be competing, and currently it's going 0.7 of a second quicker than the 2 drivers ahead of him. But it looks like Neil got a great drive out. He's just putting his nose on the inside, just showing Paul he has an intention to get that himself up the order into second place. So Neil will be looking for an opportunity. There will be...
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
Exactly that. This will be the final lap. And Sean, a much tighter line there coming out of turn number 12. Okay, Cans, I'll revert back to the original name, and what you can use is, instead of using the F, you just use the coconut icon, and we'll know exactly what you mean. Because here we are currently under code coconuts, because we do know that this is a family affair. So currently the man on top, Tyler, approaching the S's. An absolute great drive here from him, putting the car on pole, and was able to maintain that gap, withstand the pressure there from Paul Fenter. Running a little bit wide, and
The leader has finished the race.
there we go, a flash of the lights there for him. Paul Fenter in a second. Neil comes home in third, with Sean fourth place there for him. Flip van Sale in fifth place, but being bullied there by Wayne. So Wayne will take that pole position for the next race, and was just able to wait for that mistake there by Ruan. Adrian Bond will finish in 8th place, with Memo Veronis in 9th. Well, it could be 9th, it could be a 10th place, because we've got Michael Strivik trying to go around the outside, but there's not going to be grip on the marbles there on the outside. Etienne in the Bulldog Academy racing car, he'll finish in 11th place, with Thomas in 12th. And Johan VDB coming home in 13th place. So thank you guys, that's the end of heat number 1. So quickly go get a little refreshments, because we will be starting in the next 2 minutes or so. There is a little interval there between the next race, just getting the positions up. But at least now the guys know where they're going to be starting for the next race. And I will be with you shortly.
Green light, go, go, go. 30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. 5
Okay, apologies for the delay in the commentary. I just had to head off to the gents and get power cable so I'm able to see what is happening. But big thank you to everyone who has joined us so far.
Go, go, go.
The drivers are just going to be getting themselves into the reverse grid. So the positions for this next race is Wayne Bond in first place, then it's Cliff Van Zyl second, Sean Lerrero in third, Neil will be in fourth place with Paul Fenter fifth, and Tyler in the 777 pink. He will be starting in sixth place, followed by Ruan in seventh, and a great battle there between him and Wayne. Adrian in 8th, Memo in 9th, then Michael 10th, Etienne in 11th place, Thomas 12th, and Johan VDB in 13th position. So lots and lots of support coming through for Tyler. See the sun now going down, so the track temperature dropping down to 25 degrees from the 28 it was earlier on, so there will need to be just a slight change in terms of those tire pressures. Still can't get these times up. So that is it. It is green light and we are go, go, go. And Wayne has got a great jump off the line there. So being able to lead himself ahead from the two Schick cars. But it is going to be extremely congested down the middle as we watch them head down the Craner curves into the old hairpin. Great shots you can see. Oh, that's Neil running wide. Just clipping the outside, and unfortunately Paul Fenter collecting him, but it looks like Paul has been able to continue going forward, but that contact has allowed Tyler, the race winner from the previous race, to now move himself up the order into fourth place. And Neil, so unfortunate, just collecting the runoff there on the exit of the old hairpin, just losing the rear and coming back across the track and taking Paul Fenter with him. But we'll jump to the leaders out in front, and that is Tyler, who's got himself ahead already of Sean Lerrero. So Tyler absolutely flying through the field here this evening. Lerrero. Sean a little bit wide, and so is Ruan in the top there, so is Memo. So the guy's just getting that last corner a little bit wrong. But as long as they are staying on track, it is all good. So far the fastest man on track is Wayne Bond with a 128.9. It does look like Sean's quicker through this second sector, because he hasn't allowed Tyler to get away from him as easy as I'm sure Tyler would have wanted. So Sean was going to have a look to the inside on the S's, but now they're going to be too wide. So Sean is going to have to just compromise on his exit to the second phase there. You can see that he has dropped down a little bit, but there comes Paul Fenter in the background now. So between first, second, third, fourth and fifth place, it is just over 3 seconds is the gap there now between these 5 drivers. And it looks like car number 13, that is Neil, has had to go into the pits to get that damage repaired. But he is back on track now. Well, Tyler taking lots of run-off curb there. And I must say, Wayne out in front, currently still fastest on track at 128.0 there for him that time round. So he is leading from the front here. That is a side-by-side. Wayne making a little bit of a mistake there going down the hill. And that is now closed up. First, second, third, fourth, right behind him. So it is going to get extremely congested anytime shortly, and we just missed that. I just looked away for a second. Let's see if we were able to just catch that replay. So this is now gone back. So unfortunately it didn't pick up that replay. We'll have to just check the driver's log to see what happened there. But that has dropped Flip van Zyl all the way down into 11th place. There we go. Let's see if we can see what happened here. Oh, so it was a Flip. He just turned in a little bit too soon. So there wasn't contact there at all. And he just lost control and pulled him straight back across the track. And that released Sean Larera out in front and Tyler back into third. And our championship leader, Flip van Zyl, has really put himself in an interesting position now. Which means that it looks like we are going to be going to Kalomi for the final round, and it can be anybody's championship. So lots of battles happening around the track once again. So we're just going to jump down. This is now Adrian Bond trying to find a way past Ruan and Neil down in 12th place after that mistake. He's just gone and put the fastest lap time in. And as I say that, Sean Larero currently in second place. He now takes that fastest lap from Neil, who did a 127.95. Sean Lareva's just done a 127.5. Guys, I'm actually gonna try something quickly, and if this works, that could be pretty cool. What it's going to do is going to give us the ability to see the split times of the drivers. Ah, so it's not working, I'm afraid. Sorry guys, I'll get that sorted out for next week. But at least now we've know exactly how to make it work, what's working and what not. So we will get that sorted for next week. So apologies and thank you for your patience. But now we've got the battle for first, second, third and fourth place. And there's Sean Loreva putting lots of pressure now onto the back of Wayne Bond. Will there be a little look down the hill? It is just about single file all the way through the old hairpin up towards turn number 7. So guys, if you are still on the stream and you are watching, please let us know who you're supporting. We do love hearing from our fans out there. We'd also like to know exactly who they're cheering for. That is Sean Loreva now in first place, and as I looked away and I looked back and I see that it is now Sean up into first, Tyler in a second place, so he's going to be wanting to try and chase down the first man. Comment here from Raphael saying make that BMW wide as possible. Unfortunately there, Raf, is that Wayne has allowed Sean Loreva to get through, who is the new race leader. And Neil Bullion has just gone and put down the fastest lap time once again. So 127.6 there for him. And a Major Slayer saying, go Michael Strivik. So Michael in a 7th place and having an interesting battle there. As I say that, I see that he has gone off. Let's see if we can catch what happened on the replay here, because that is a memo behind him. And this is him going into turn number 1. Oh, off onto the grass, running himself a little bit wide. And unfortunately now rejoining back down, and Tyler Humphries, a drive-through penalty there for him. What has he done? So I'm not seeing any lap times here or anything that has said that he has done anything untoward, but drive-through penalty there for Tyler. That's definitely not going to be what he was looking to do. but he'll have to get that over and done with. So now Tyler dropping down into 7th place, which now leaves it wide open now for Sean Herrera out in front, and Wayne Bond still fighting off in a second. We can see on that track map now that the cars are starting to just spread themselves evenly now. But Wayne is now starting to close up on the back of Sean. He now is within the second. So that is the battle out in front for first, second and third place. It is so crazy to see that we've still got Neil down in that 12th place. That mistake that he had made, 1:27.6, so he is definitely the fastest here this evening. Six minutes left to go. Race. Just so that we can see who the top three are for this evening. Wayne now starting to close up onto the back of Sean. It looks like he has found something special here, because Wayne right up there within 0.3 of a second. So I wonder whether Sean's just battling with a little bit of tyre deg, and that can happen if the tyres start cooling off, because then you're rubbing off that grip as opposed to keeping the heat in them. Still this battle rages on, but there is some more battles happening further down, and this is now Tyler looking to get ahead of Memo. So Memo taking that curb, and we saw what happened to Neil earlier on. jump back to the leaders. 3.5 minutes left to go. So Kathy Hurd has joined us. Thank you very much, Kathy. Kathy approves of this. But it does look like we've got Sean who's starting to put some breathing space between himself and Sean Lerero. But still that battle I'm seeing between Tyler and Memo. Tyler not finding a way past him just yet. Tyler is second quicker than Memo that time around. But that's the thing, is one to catch, and the next is to overtake. And 2 minutes left to go. But a great drive there for Tyler through the S's, so Memo will have to leave some space there on the inside, and Tyler able to squeeze himself through there. So a great move there, and Memo saw him coming and had to just leave that space. So Memo having a good look on the inside, and Tyler leaving him space there. But now it's going to be the McLaren and the BMW down the main straight. Memo's going to have the inside. Tyler's going to go around the outside. So Tyler just backing off, and Memo just not able to get the power down. You can see Tyler flashing the lights there. As I head into the old hairpin. And it is single file up here as we approach less than a minute to go. So once our race leader Sean Lerero crosses the start finish line, this will then be the final lap. So Tyler flashing those lights, and what it does is it puts Memo off, but then as Tyler sees Memo going off, Tyler himself makes a little bit of a mistake, which has now brought Michael Strivik right into this battle.
Alright man, the leader is on the final lap. Give it a final push.
So that is the battle there for first, second, third. And in the background there, that is Ruan. So Sean leads him through the S's quite convincingly. He's now going to head on to turn number 11.
The leader has finished the race.
So Sean will come home in first place, followed by Wayne in second, Paul Fenter in third. So apologies guys, I just got to get these positions put in because we do want to get the race The race winner's in just before the load shedding kicks in for some of the drivers.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Hello, gents.
How's it, Paulo?
Hello, hello, Paul.
Tyler sounds so down. So
Yeah.
down. I was counting on him catching the boys in front, and then
No, yeah, the darkness just caught me out there. And then drive through, and then oh my lord, that would have been back-to-back P1s. But
well, that was my hope after I just about T-boned my own teammate after him trying to murder us on lap 1.
I saw that. Yeah, that was terrible.
So I'm just going to get Sean in with us. He was fastest for the day. Paul, you got second for the day. And Tyler, you got third for the day, about 1 point over Wayne.
Ah, well done, me. Oh, that's close.
Yeah, I think the championship is going to be quite interesting going into the final round. I think it's flipped 1 point difference, then it's Lareiro, and then myself 16 points behind. So that's going to be an interesting final race.
Well, I went a little bit radio silent on the stream, and that was because I was doing exactly what you were wanting to hear. And your second start with Neil clipping that curb, unlucky there, Paul.
Oh man,
Great recovery driver there.
Yeah, look, I don't know. Niall he was like, and I'm like, don't come across, don't come, and like just like push, slammed on the brakes, and yeah, I missed the majority of him, but yeah, I still gave him a good whack. Had about 10 seconds worth of damage, so that wasn't great. But hey, then at that point it was just just try and take whatever I can get.
Same thing happened to me at the top of the hill. Flip, lost it. I had to slam my brakes. Or I was going to
I
T-bone
saw
him.
that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that I actually managed to get back on the replay, and I was just wondering whether there was a bit of contact, but essentially all that happened is he just turned in a bit too soon, clipped the grass, and almost did like a little power slide all there on his own.
Yeah.
So Kailom is going to be.
So,
it's gonna-
gentlemen, let's talk final points for the last round. So, Paul, there's 17 points in it for you behind Flip van Sale. But then Sean and Flip are tied
Oh, damn.
Oh, wow.
on 157. And with a 10-point advantage for a first place, is that you do have an outside chance, provided you win and Flip and Sean are third or less.
Yeah, so that's in with a shot then.
100%. So it's essentially you're going to make sure you win, and then you're going to leave it up to Sean and Flip van Sale to figure out where they want to end off.
Evening, gentlemen.
Hello,
Evening.
Dawn. So I should bribe Tyler, and maybe Wayne or someone to make sure they come second. So that's how that works. Okay.
I mean, name your price. I got you.
So Sean, what we were just talking about, so congratulations, you've actually taken the overall for the day, so well done there.
Somehow. Okay, didn't expect that in the tank.
No, but listen, a great fight there, and just once again Wayne Bond just showing how determined he is to stay ahead.
Yo, it is so hot here, and the guy in front of you slows you down, and I just see Tyler and Paul coming in the dark. You don't know what to do. It's panic mode.
That was
Yeah,
absolutely fantastic. But now with Flip and his little misfortune is that I have done a quick calculation on the points, and what has now happened is that you are now tied with Flip van Sale on 157 and Paul 17 points behind.
Ooh.
So provided you stay ahead of Flip and Paul, is that the championship is wide open between yourself and Flip. But if Paul wins, either you or Flip have to finish a third or higher. A fourth place will not be enough because there's only 17 points and Paul Fencer has a chance to win the series.
So the amazing thing is I've set up a big trip for Paul and Flip to take. It happens to be next week during the last round. It's all expenses paid for. Just free beer, send it.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm packing up. Where am I going?
I'll tell you on the morning.
No, guys, that was absolutely fantastic. Tyler, great drive there for you in the first heat as well. On pole position. And I mentioned Auntie Cans, and she was like, not an F, am I calling her that? So we'll just stick to Cans. But,
That's my mother, yeah.
cheering you all the way, as well
He
as
was
Jamie
flying.
and Russell. So,
Yeah.
great following
Hi,
there
guys.
for you, Tyler.
Thanks for embarrassing me. I think, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. He was flying in race one, and I tried to keep up, and just eventually was like, no,
At the
this is not working.
At the end, like 2 laps to go, I checked. I had 3 liters of fuel left. I had to go into fuel saving. I nearly cried, eh?
Oh my goodness, that would have been an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely awesome, guys. Well, to those who are on the stream, thank you so much. The scene is set. It is going to be a final Kailomi showdown for the championship winner of the series. Really looking forward to that one. I'm sure the guys will be getting in lots and lots of practice. So thank you to the drivers that have joined us. To those viewers, a big thank you to Schick for sponsoring us the the prizes for the series. MSR for the support in terms of some hardware, as well as NAG for supporting us through Nutanix for the servers. And I think that the racing just showed how much easier it was when you're sitting on a 9 millisecond ping and a latency of less than 20. It's absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure you guys racing actually felt the difference as well.
Yeah,
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right, boys. So thank you very much. Catch you guys next
Thanks,
week.
everyone.
Alright guys,
Cheers.
take it easy, enjoy the racing.